Hello, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this card making video. This is the lovely card we're going to be making together today. Isn't it gorgeous? And it uses a new stamp set and dies called Perfectly Pears, and this is a new online exclusive that just went live beginning of July, and you can see here it's just gorgeous. So let me show you how I did this. This is the stamp set and it's this one called Perfectly Pears. And we're going to be using a few of these images. I'm just going to take the last one out here and put it into my Stamparatus. Into my stamping tool. There we go. And we're going to be stamping a different way to last time. This last time I used two different colour inks here. I used Darling Duckling and Pecan Pie, or Pecan Pie, however you want to say it. This time I'm going to be using Darling Duckling and Flirty Flamingo. And we're going to see what we come up with. So, let's do a little bit of inking. So for my leaves here, I'm going to ink this up in Old Olive. I can see that. And for the others, I'm going to ink up in Darling Duckling. We're going to just see what we get. Oh, lovely. That looks good. So that's our outlines done. Now I'm going to just remove this lot, so let's give everything a good clean so I can take it out of here. Okay. And bring back our stamp set. And this is a two-step stamping, so we're going to be doing that now, the second half. So we've got the big piece here. And then we've got the leaves here. These are really easy to line up. You can see no real difficulty. And then we've got a little bit here for the small pears. Okay, so that's the small pears done. I'm going to pick that all up with my lid. And now for these little leaves, I'm going to stamp it again. Just with some Old Olive. Yep, that's fine. So I'm going to just take this out here and give it a bit of a clean. And then we're going to stamp the last two in a different colour. Okay, so that's Old Olive. I'm going to stamp these two, and first I'm going to stamp these with Shock Horror Flirty Flamingo, and this sounds absolutely nuts, but we're going to make it work. We're going to see what we've got. There we've got some pinky pears, and then we're going to give this another clean. And then we're going to stamp over the top with a little bit of Darling Duckling to give a very different effect. See, look at that. And this is how you can get really different effects using your different combinations of ink, because you can still see through what's below. So now I'm going to get my sponge builders out as well. And a little bit of Darling Duckling. I'm just going to add a little bit just to deepen that shadow in one or two places. There we go. I like that. Okay. Right. Sorry about the noise. Okay. Get this back into its home. Now there is a little stamp here as well. This one here. And I'm going to use that as well. So I'm going to just take this out. You can see I've been having fun today. Look at my hands. All inky. Nothing a good wash won't solve. Okay. I'm going to take a small block. And this time I'm going to use some pecan pie or pecan pie. You never know how you're meant to say this thing. And I'm just going to stamp off, and then I'm just going to add some colour here. I'm just adding there some definition to the pears. Isn't that cute? Alright. So put this back in its little home. And then we're also going to just stamp the sentiment. It says, thank you. So I'll line this up on my grip mat. Get that block. I think for ease I'm just going to not search for another colour. I'm just going to stamp this in some Old Olive. There we go. Thank you. Right. We're now going to cut these all out using the matching dies, and once I've done that I'll see you back. Okay, so everything has been die cut out. Now I just want to colour the leaves of the small little pear, and I'm just going to use an Old Olive marker to do that very gently. And I'm just going to colour these in. Just very sketchily. These will dry a little bit lighter than it looks at the moment. Okay, that'll do me for now. Let's put this card together. Okay, so we have a card base here of Mossy Meadow. Standard A6 card base, that's an A4 sheet cut in half and then folded in half. And then I've got a piece here of basic white that measures 14.35 centimeters by 10. But don't worry to write down all these measurements. They will be on the blog post, and you can find the link to that in the description box below, alongside all my social media links. So they're all there for ease. I've got a piece here of the matching designer series paper from the same suite, and this is called the Painterly Pears. And I'm just going to stick this on the front. Oopsie daisy, this is a slightly different pattern to the one we had before. Still showing all these gorgeous pears though. And then I've got a set of doilies here. These are from my stash, so they're no longer available, but you can find doilies online all over the place. You just want the baby ones, and sometimes it will look like this, but they're actually two of them stuck together, so make sure you don't waste them and you unpeel them if you can, that is. Sometimes they put up a bit of a fight. And there we go. I'll sort that out later. And I'm just going to put some glue in the very centre of my doily. Oh, that's that. Oh well. I'll use that to scrap another day. That was very clever of me, wasn't it? Okay, unfortunately I lost the rest of my coverage and I didn't realise I hadn't put the camera on when I should have. But as you can see, there's not very much left to do for this card. We've already put the designer series paper on the front of the card. I then attached my doily onto the front just using some glue, and then I just arranged my pears. I arranged two of them here on the front, whatever configuration you like. I then cut out my thank you using my trimmer, and I pennited the end, as you can see. I then took a piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock and made it just slightly bigger than my sentiment pennant, and I pennited the end of that, and then I stuck the two at different angles on top of my pears. I then added a little bit of detail with some of these lovely little dots. I can't remember exactly which dots they are, but they will be listed and linked below in the description box. I then, on the inside of the card, took those two little mini pears and stuck that there just for some extra decoration. So that is this lovely pears card finish. So thank you for joining me today to make this lovely thank you card featuring the Perfectly Pears stamp and die set. If you wanted more information about the project, the supply list, the measurements are all on the blog post, and you can find the links to that and all my social media links in the description box below. If you have enjoyed this card, I'd really appreciate it if you could give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So thank you again, and until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.